Hello YouTube, it's Great Fails Montana. I am here today showing off my ABC True Draco ABC, whatever you want to call it. The reason why I'm doing it, even though the format's about to end, is because the format's about to end and I really wanted to upload a video while I was doing well in a format. Last time I was doing well was Monarch format, and that's a while ago. I was playing PK Fire and Monarchs, and that's what I was successful with in that format. Last year was tough with Zoo, to be honest. I played everything but Zoo. So I didn't do as well as people playing Zoo. And then, so now I just really want to show off like what I've done. So what we're going to start off with is a 2-card combo. Basically, you just need Diagram and Union Hanger, and we'll see how our 3 other cards are. I'm actually going to cut real quick, just in case. So this is like a really optimal hand, believe it or not. Anytime you get 2 diagrams and 1 union hanger, it's pretty much the most OP setup. So I'll show you why right now. So you go union hanger, grabbing U, A, equipping B. Pretty typical ABC play. Nothing surprising about that. And then we will play diagram. And I'll play the non-first ed one too. Popping B, grabbing C, and Masterpiece. And then, right now, I've already gained 2 cards, as you can tell. It's pretty insane. Now, and this time I will pop C. So I've popped C and B so far. And then I am searching right now. I'm just going to search the Disciples because I don't like losing heritage early. I'd rather just not even worry about that. Disciples, where are you at? It's the one of, so one moment, guys. Jesus. Doing this one-handed is not simple. Fuck it, I'm grabbing heritage. It doesn't really matter which one you grab. Or you could actually, in this scenario, since you have the torrential, what I would do is I'd grab Apocalypse. Sorry for being so chummy just now. And the reason why is because you want your Masterpiece to be immune to traps so that you can basically go off as much as you'd like and then nothing would happen. So what I'm going to do is set this and set these 2. And not go for ABC Dragon this turn. Or I could have gone for ABC and made this heritage instead, tributed heritage in itself, getting him out this turn, and then I can get out Buster the same turn, which is why the diagram and union hanger combo is so fucking broke, because having these 2 out at the same time is really broke. Now let's say we did do the heritage play, and he's not immune to traps. I just hold this in hand and have a discard. Now, since I did the trap play, I have a pop on a monster. And then I can actually grab back B or C, whichever one I'd like. And so I end up plussing 2 in that as I minus 2. So it's a 2 for 2. And then Masterpiece makes up for the rest. I have a Masterpiece that's immune to traps. I can blow up the whole field, and then I can stop any summon, plus I can pop a card. He's immune to monster effects and traps, which was the best scenario against True Draco as well, which is pretty much why I do it. And a lot of times I figure out I'm playing True Draco, they don't have an extra deck. I will go for Masterpiece before they even play a monster, especially if I have like Skill Drain or something, because Skill Drain or Imperial Order will allow me to basically play Solitaire, which, as dumb as that sounds, is kind of the point in playing Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of times. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through here and pull out all my monsters. There's not many. I'm playing Card of Demise. I was playing a gadget version at a regional recently. It did not do very well. Gold and Silver Gadget are great cards. That being said, they're not as good as everything else right now. So they could not keep up with the pacing. And in terms of consistency, I'd rather draw Card of Demise or Pot of Duality instead. There's no question. There's no comparison even, to be honest. One of the things that makes this deck really strong is the ability to have 2 different themes being flexible. It's a lot like those weird decks coming out right now. They're just tech and dinos or whatever else. The concepts behind it are pretty linear, but the theory behind it is designed around being able to go second or first. That's why I focused on True Draco spells and traps over gadgets, and I also made sure I played a lot of draw. What I did before is literally the only draw I had was Upstart Goblin. I wasn't playing Desires because with the version I was running, I didn't have enough ways to thin my deck out and make sure I had enough puzzle pieces before I used Desires. Now I do have enough draw power, as you know, and that allows me to do pretty much anything I want with the deck in most scenarios. One of the weaknesses of the deck would be the sheer reality that it loses to what True Draco loses to. But one of the benefits is if they end up outing your True Draco stuff, you can really just out-resource them with the ABC stuff usually because they don't have that many outs. Most decks don't. So let me just go through the list real quick. I'm running 1 C, 2 Bs, and 2 As, 2 Masterpiece. So 7 monsters. I was trying the second C, and I was also playing without the second A. You need the second B just for another target to search. In general, just plussing is necessary in your combo, so you need to make sure you have it. And these numbers actually make sure. Plus these 4, I'll plus. This one overextends. It's just basic Yu-Gi-Oh! Same thing with this card. I thought about running 3. Everyone does. The idea behind it is that it bricks. There's no question that it bricks. The theory, though, is if you have 3, you never run out. As everyone knows, that being said, you don't necessarily ever go into the second. It does happen where you just play True Dracos, and you just use all that True Draco support and nothing else. But in most scenarios, you are usually put in a predicament that forces you into playing around whatever's going on. So I got 3 terraformings, so I run 9 field spells, 10 field spells, basically, which gives me 10 monsters in addition to these monsters. So that's 17 monsters I run, which is key. Like having access to that many monsters in a card-randomized deck is just really broken. Not a lot of decks can do that. I'm running the obligatory 39 card, playing 2 dualities, so then I'm technically playing 3 upstarts. I know it's not the same, but let's just pretend, guys. This duality is necessary, or this desires is necessary because, like I said, now I have a way to just draw into goo after I get all my other shit prepared. And this is card demise. It's getting hit probably in the next week. I think it's a necessary card in the deck now after playing it. The regional I went to, there was a top 8 ABC deck that just ran 6 ABCs, card demise, and everything else, and that really inspired me for this deck. And it was also obviously the main True Draco deck of the format that kind of sparked a lot of my thoughts. So I'm going to show you the Solemn Brigade real quick, and then we're going to go through the rest of the traps. I only run 1 strike, and one of the rest of the limited strike solemns. I don't think these are solemns, but they act as solemns, game-ending cards. These are all necessary. I think you have to run them in any deck that runs traps. You have to run 1 of each of them. I don't think 3 of this is necessary. I disagree with that. I think this card at 3 is necessary if you're worried about hand traps in certain formats. I would say at YCS's 3 is necessary. Regionals 100 to 200 probably not necessary. Maybe 2 is necessary. But to be real, this deck can play around getting disrupted. So hand traps aren't that big a deal. You can play really passive because of torrential and all the trap support you have. And I think that's really important, and that's basically what I'm playing over strike is 3 torrential. And some people might disagree with this. However, I think with the True Dracos and the ABCs, this card is one of the greatest cards in the game. There's nothing, this never goes wrong. This is always live and always really accessible, believe it or not. And the last little extra card, I probably should have put it over there, but with the Imperial Order, it also acts as a game-ending card against pendulums, and as that being the best deck, you have to have some kind of main deck out for them. This doesn't affect me nearly as much as them. It's not a bad card to main deck. And believe it or not, even with 1, you still draw in first turn. You still draw a lot because of card demise. So that really just digs into your deck too much. Same thing with duality. These guys, I think you have to run them because you're running the torrential version. If I was not playing torrential, I wouldn't run that, and I wouldn't play disciples. I would only play one heritage, and that would be my lineup: one heritage, two of these, and one of this. But since I'm playing the torrentials, I had to go ham on the true Draco stuff, just because these four allow me to basically win the game. Even if you end up drawing like a couple of these, like they play with each other, and you can still out your opponent. It's not ideal, but it allows you to like play passive Yu-Gi-Oh, whereas everyone else can't right now. So that side deck, 3 of those, you side these in when you're siding out, card and demise, going second basically. A lot of people might disagree with that. I sometimes keep 2 in or 1 in depending on the matchup, but I really like the idea of not having card demise with hand traps. Every time I try to side in hand traps and card demise, they do not work out well. This is for 60 card decks. They're too much of a problem right now. Until snow gets hit, you have to play this card, I believe. I might be wrong. Just something like it, Lancia, but they can still snow on your turn. And it's really good in the mirror match. Like, so it's a mirror match card. It handles 60 card decks, and that on its own is just something to be very cognizant of. And then this guy, 60 card decks, Pendulum Magicians. The biggest problem I noticed in a lot of scenarios is people will sit on their Omegas until you like end of main phase. So you get this guy out, getting rid of their Omegas in the 60 card decks and their Crystal Wing. Against Pendulum Magicians, you get rid of their Vortex Dragon, Crystal Wing, and their Hope Harbinger. So like it's just a necessary card in decks where you can normal summon again, like this one with Heritage and Disciples. I'm just playing the 1 deck lockdown. I was playing 2 over the second decree. But I like the 1 just because, honestly, it does get in the way, even though it goes away after a turn. I like the idea of being able to shut down Pendulum Magicians, being able to shut down any deck for a turn, though, and then just play passive Yu-Gi-Oh! For a turn once again. This deck does it really well after you already set up. These are for True Draco, as well as this. This is just an OP card. 60 card decks, True Draco, ABC, literally any matchup. After you've already set up, this card wins you the game. So I have to play it. The only reason why I don't main deck it is because there are some matchups where the graveyard's not that important. They can still beat you, and I'd rather have other cards. So I don't want to main deck a card that could be substituted for something more flexible like Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike. And then these guys, honestly, I also side them in against people I know have evenly matched. The biggest problem for True Draco is playing a bunch of traps and then card demise and then getting evenly matched. So I thought if I was going first, I might as well play this card, and then that lets me just pump over my opponent, and then I can pop it whenever I want or tribute it. So it's not a big deal. Same thing with this card. And then the obligatory 2 more anti-spells for Pendulum Magicians. I was playing in my side before 3 Dimensional Barrier, but I think that's just outdated at this point. Dimensional Barrier is great. It's just they're better cards that basically prevent your opponent from playing instead, so I'd rather just do that. So let's go through the extra and then I'm all done. Sorry about the length. So 3 of these broken motherfuckers. Until it gets hit to 1, I'm playing this deck. I pretty much decided. It's one of the best cards that have ever existed, and I don't really know why people don't play this deck. Besides the sheer fact that it does lose to disruption, but the idea is anything loses to disruption. It isn't a win-all deck, but this card in combination with Masterpiece is game-breaking. So if Masterpiece ends up getting hit, I don't know what I'll do with ABCs. I'll try something. I might even do ABC Invoked, just because I don't think Invoked's going to get hit either in the TCG anyway. Boom, 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 all the Link 2s. So you play this because basically you have to get out ABC Dragon, and you need to get rid of your ABCs in some way. And I also play the Clairon-Rishka, as you saw. I play the Decode just for the same reason. If I want to get rid of 3 ABCs without having to fuck around with with underclock and some XEs. That works out well once in a while, but if I do run out of the underclock, then I can just send them all and go straight into him with 2800 beater. If I have another monster, he's 33. Then I have a 3200 Masterpiece and a 3000 ABC Buster. So you can see how that starts building up on attack barriers. 9000 damage is a lot. I play the 3 Utopia, you have to play if you play rank 4s, I believe. You don't have to play him, but I do think he's necessary because in a lot of decks can't overcome 2 lightnings, so you pretty much have to have that extra. 1 Castel, 1 Baguska, and 1 Diamond Dire. What I would do in this is I'd probably take out Baguska for Tornado Dragon. And then I'm playing these. I'm not playing him. I was playing him in the gadget version, but not as relevant anymore. And then Dweller is my 15th card. 60 card decks, like that's necessary for that. And it's also pretty good against True Draco too, believe it or not. So that's the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I missed talking to you guys. Love you. Keep it real. Stay innovative. And I will be back soon with more content. The next channel, or the next video I'll post on the channel will be a prediction for the ban list. I have a lot of ideas, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you.